Caveman is a word used to describe a member of an early human species that lived in prehistoric times. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll talk about what daily life was like for cavemen. But before we do this, remember to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Without further ado, let's get started. Generally, the period of human history known as the Stone Age lasted from roughly 3 million years ago to around 4000 BC. During this time, primitive people transitioned from foraging wild plants and chasing small animals for food to growing their own food and raising their own livestock. They also went from making simple stone tools to developing complex language skills. The Stone Age can be divided into 3 periods: the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. We'll focus primarily on the Paleolithic period, which literally means Old Stone Age, and lasted from about 2.6 million to around 12,000 years ago. This period of time accounts for 95% of the entire Stone Age. During the Paleolithic era, humans lived as nomadic hunter-gatherers who traveled from place to place in search of sustenance. They had not yet developed agriculture or domesticated animals. Instead, they relied on hunting wild animals and gathering wild plants for food. Due to the lack of long-lasting food sources, these early humans needed to constantly move. Their survival depended on their ability to find enough to eat. This way of life required a great deal of energy. Men, women, and children spent most of their waking hours looking for food. They had to cover large areas on foot and sometimes climb trees in search of berries. Men hunted animals while women and children gathered edible plants and fruits. Sometimes hunting involved chasing animals over long distances. Thus, both men and children had to be physically fit and strong. Groups of men would often work together to hunt larger animals. They used spears and clubs to capture prey such as deer, bison, wild cattle, horses, bears, and woolly mammoths. After a successful hunt, the meat was shared among the members of the group. Women and children could gather more food than they could eat, so they often saved some of it for later. The extra food was either dried or smoked and stored in caves or rock shelters to be eaten during leaner times. Plants, roots, nuts, and berries were important sources of nutrition for Paleolithic people. Berries were probably the easiest and most accessible food source. Nuts and seeds were also eaten raw. However, if the shells were too hard, they were cracked open by placing them between 2 stones. Certain parts of plants, including leaves, flowers, buds, and bulbs, were also consumed. Roots and tubers could be roasted or boiled. In addition to plant and animal foods, early humans occasionally ate insects and small fish. Early humans were constantly on the lookout for signs of danger. They had to be aware of potential threats to their safety and the safety of their group members at all times. To protect themselves from predators, wild animals, and rival groups, they created weapons made from stone, wood, and bone. Some weapons were used for hunting, while others were designed only for defense. Early humans learned to use fire for cooking food, keeping predators away and providing warmth. It's believed that they discovered how to make fire by rubbing 2 sticks together. Once they learned how to start a fire without assistance, they took great pride in their ability to control fire and keep it burning. Controlling the fire meant that the group would have a source of warmth and light throughout the night. A fire also kept predators away and made it possible to cook meat. Cooking meat made it safer to eat and easier to digest. The invention of the hand axe was one of the most important advances during the Paleolithic period. Hand axes were used for cutting wood, digging up plants, processing animal carcasses, and defending against enemies. The social structure of Paleolithic society is unknown because there was no written language during this period. However, anthropologists believe that early humans probably lived in small groups consisting of a few families. These groups probably had a leader, but little is known about how authority was distributed within the community. Members of Paleolithic societies probably had some form of government in order to maintain order within the group and settle disputes. There were probably religious rituals and beliefs. although there is no evidence to support any kind of religion. Burial sites suggest that Paleolithic people may have believed in an afterlife. They buried their dead with grave goods, including tools and weapons. This suggests that they believed the deceased would need these items in the afterlife. Other burial customs suggest that certain individuals were more important than others. Many anthropologists believe that Paleolithic people probably had a belief system that included animism or the belief that natural objects such as trees and rocks have souls. It's possible that early humans also worshipped a supreme being or creator. However, there's no evidence to confirm this belief. Men, women, and children had different roles in Paleolithic society. Men were probably responsible for hunting and defending the group, while women and children gathered food and made tools. Women probably also cared for the sick and injured and passed down knowledge about plants and healing to younger members of the community. Children were probably taught the skills they would need to survive as adults. This included how to find food, make tools, and defend themselves. As the ice sheets receded after the last ice age, the climate became warmer and wetter. This led to the melting of glaciers and rising sea levels. As the glaciers melted, new rivers, lakes, and oceans formed. The wetter climate also led to the growth of forests and grasslands. This environmental shift marked the end of the Paleolithic period and the beginning of the Mesolithic period, also known as the Middle Stone Age. The Mesolithic period lasted from about 12,000 to 8,000 BC. During this time, humans continued to rely on hunting and gathering for food, but they began to experiment with agriculture. Some groups of humans began to domesticate animals and grow their own food. This led to the development of villages and the first settlements. The Mesolithic period saw the development of new technologies, including the bow and arrow. This allowed humans to hunt more effectively and led to the extinction of many large animals. Humans also developed new tools, including fishing nets and boats. This allowed them to exploit new food sources and travel to new areas. During the Mesolithic period, humans began to live in smaller groups than during the Paleolithic period. This was due to the development of agriculture, which allowed humans to stay in one place and grow their own food. Agriculture also led to the development of villages and the first settlements. During the Mesolithic period, humans lived in a variety of dwellings, including huts made of wood and thatch and stone houses. They also built shelters made of rocks and animal hides. By the end of the Mesolithic period, humans had developed agriculture and domesticated animals. This led to the development of permanent settlements and the first cities. The Neolithic period also saw the development of new technologies, including the wheel and the plow. Humans also developed new tools, including axes and sickles. These technological advances allowed humans to produce more food and build larger structures. During the Neolithic period, humans lived in settled agricultural communities. This allowed them to develop specialized skills and crafts. They also developed new social structures, including chieftains and priests. The Neolithic period also saw the development of religion and mythology. Humans developed beliefs and stories about the world and their place in it. They also developed rituals and ceremonies to honor the gods. We hope you enjoyed learning about what daily life was like for cavemen. If you did, please remember to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Thanks for watching,